Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Coad Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. I paint every day and I do acrylic on paper. I also do stencils. I draw. I organize my studio space. I do a lot of things. For me, art is about problem solving, so there's always little tricks and tools that I can share with you along the way. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to be working on, well, actually, I'm going to take this painting apart. Yes, that's what I do. When I work on the table, I usually work on multiple images. Although I've been saying for a few days how delighted I am in this diorama, in this kind of uh, long form. But my goal is to separate them into 8 smaller paintings. And this wall, I'm quite surprised. I was talking, I think yesterday, about the positive and negative space. So the white is the negative space, of course, and when there's too much of it, then it's just too much. I mean, it there's kind of an imbalance. It looks empty with a few things floating, and my goal is to get to a balance. Um, anything can work, and anything is okay. Abstract painting, if you've come to a point where you feel it's completed, then it is. But there's always those kind of principles that apply to visual appeal, and so and some of them are standardized, and you can certainly mess with them. It's not a problem, but uh, it's it's a it's a dance. It's a balance. It's a um, you know it's a push and a pull. So I did a little bit more work, uh, and I'm actually really liking them today. Now, that's what happens, every day is different, and the same work I can feel differently about from day to day. I mostly know when paintings are finished when I no longer feel that difference day to day. It's pretty much a consistent liking or a consistent disliking, in which case, I take them down, and the ones that I like, I keep, and the ones that I don't feel really measured up, then I I recycle. I make other paintings out of them. I make smaller paintings out of them, um, and and these I had meant to use to make the smaller paintings, uh, and just trying things out. As it turns out, it's just as easy to do this on the table, so I'm not sure I'll do that again. Um, I don't have, I just don't have a feel for this format, even though I really do like some of the paintings, and I certainly could separate them and have them work reasonably well. But that's kind of a mental gymnastics that I don't have to put myself through. So unless I'm just feeling like gymnastics, I I think I will spare myself um, the thought processes to really separate these when they in fact are not separate. They exist as one long panel. I'd like to keep some of them because they turn out very well. um, I just don't have an audience for them. I don't have a reason to. a compelling reason to. Now, the back wall, I got started on my maps, loving it. I'll do some more work there. And these have just kind of quietly come together. That happens sometimes. They're kind of the dark horse, or the slow starter that just all of a sudden that they're at the front of the race. So I do like how they are looking right now. I'm talking and looking and thinking and doing so many things at once. I don't know why. Um, uh, but Philip Guston popped into my head, and I am not by any means saying these are reminiscent, but there's something, especially about this top one, that just reminds me of Philip Guston. Um, he worked figuratively, having started out as an abstract painter. And I understand that. I started out as an abstract painter. I became a figurative painter. My tendency is to buck the system. So when I think back on it, I started out abstract, and then everybody was doing abstract work. I mean, that was the real um, theme of art as I was seeing it, et cetera, et cetera. There was not very much figuration or narrative, not good work, or maybe that period of time just didn't have a context for it. That could be too. Now it's everywhere, and mostly popular. So, of course, what do? I go I go into abstraction. Just, it's all okay. Just know yourself and be okay with that. So, but I can't let go of the figuration. I love it. So I go back and forth. I really do. And even once, a couple times a month, I go to a sketch group, and I sketch the model. And that's figuration. I mean, that's pretty representational, just to keep my hand in it. So anyway, I have here on the table the work that I am going to be separating. Let me go in here. Oh, first of all, let me get my tools. I was putting some paper up yesterday, and I've got myself really corralled in here with all of my audiovisual equipment. And I really mean to get to this back panel too, because I've had that same image on there for a very long time, and it's finished. Quite frankly, I have nothing else to add, nothing to take away, and I'm very happy with what's there. So that's complete. To me, that is complete. Gotta be careful that I don't scrape this screwdriver across the page. So there are tools to remove staples, and they're very good tools, and I have a half a dozen of them because they're tools and they're good. But I've had this screwdriver. It belonged to a colleague of mine, oh, so very long ago. And anyways, it had been filed just to make the end a little bit sharper for very fine, screw slots, I guess. And I just have used it. It was gifted to me, and I have used it ever since to take staples out. And I have ruined a few paintings with it because of its, I'm adapting it to something that it was not meant to be used for. So, see, I hate that. I just tore a corner off of my paper. However, I'll breathe through it, and it was right at the edge. Yay. It's not really such a big deal, but I do dislike when I do that. And I have a fabric tape that's for hanging. It's archival. It's linen tape with glue on it. I can reattach this corner, or it's less than an inch. I can just shave a little bit off one side of the painting. I mean, it's but there's no law as to how wide the painting has to be. So, and I have no problem with adapting and correcting and making adjustments and things like that. So, I know how to do this. What I need to do when I'm removing the staple is I need to put one finger down, because the staple will come out sometimes. I just don't know with the same force. Sometimes the staple comes out slowly, nice and slowly, and sometimes it comes out, very forceful, and that's when these little accidents occur. I have staple holes in the edges. It's not like this is pristine illuminated manuscript. Well, a lot of illuminated manuscripts have some pretty questionable edges as well. So this is it. This is the diorama, panorama, gods and goddesses. I'm just taking it in front of the cameras. So these will be separated. I think I'm going to do it, even though I really like how it looks. You can see it better than I can see it right now. I'm actually going to quickly staple it to the back wall just to take a look. Back wall gives me the best distance. And while I have the stapler here, I see I have torn a page from the back surface. Let me just take a look and see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to separate them. The colors will work better, and the composition. I did paint these specifically to be separated, so there's a lot of formal problems going on that I wasn't really setting it up to deal with, but on a smaller scale, those problems will disappear, I hope. And if not, I'll go on to the next. So I'm just going to fold it for now. Oh, it's so easy to tear. And I like to take the manufactured edge, which is the straightest edge, and use that as my guide for folding and tearing. And then I like to use that knife or any kind of an edge blade. A scissor edge will do, kind of like a knife. Oh, there's my knife right here. I didn't even have to go anywhere. Find the sharper edge. This is quite a dull kind of butter type knife. Very old school. Silver plate. Somebody's heirloom. There was a moment where I thought, oh, should I just make everything a little tiny bit smaller and shave off that edge that was torn? And then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. In fact, it does seem like there is an excess. I don't mind that, actually. There's an excess on this side, so I will take a little bit off. It's not going to lose anything. Actually, it will improve. So this is how they look individually, much better than the whole diorama. You know, that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So here's my gods and goddesses. Love these guys. So some of these paintings are a little denser. When we talk about figure ground, and I have graphite on them, so I probably should not be rubbing too much. Got the Venus de Milo and the goddess of the city with the crown, with the city wall on her head. So this was an experiment, and I think it went fine. The experimentation was to paint 8 paintings on one surface. Oh, shoot. I just tore the plastic there. Ooh, it's pretty. Pretty and bright. I really went through a phase of darker images. A darker palette. And it's just kind of nice to be sunny and bright for a little bit. Colors can do that. This one, I like these. This one here I call the Thinker. And these are the 2 ancient goddesses. Going to fiesta. It's you know, there's so much you can do with creating, with art, with just making marks and applying colors see what we have on the other side. I think I just started. Yes, I did. I mean, I like this too. Look at this. I talked earlier about figure ground, so I'll just kind of bring it all the way 360 degrees, because here we have completely different proportions of the figure and the ground. So the figure's the yellow, orangey yellow, the ground's the white, and look at that. Look at how they stand out. It's like really a conversation between two forces. Um, and there's plenty of art that looks like this with different proportions, different shapes. It's beautiful. It really is. And but it's a little too minimal for me, so I am going to keep working, and I'm going to keep working on these. Let me see. Oh yeah, these paintings. Yeah. All of a sudden, a lot of paintings feel complete, and it does seem like I just put fresh paper up a few days ago, but obviously it's been more than a week, and sometimes it takes a month or longer to get to a point where they feel like they're complete. But I'm very happy with these. I'll be taking these ones down. Let's just do a little work on this wall here, and I'm going to switch the direction of this camera. This one's a little less, this tripod is a little less stable, but I have all kinds of things you can see on the floors. I have carpet pieces, I have canvas. I would have just left the canvas, but I couldn't sweep it up, and I have a light vacuum, but that would just pull the canvas away from the floor. So I've put down, it's like landing strips. I've put down just some carpet tiles to anchor while I sweep or clean, because it gets a little dusty. Now, this is a juicy moment. I get to do the next thing, and I'm happy to think of it as the next thing, not the only thing that I will be doing, just the next thing that I'll be doing, because there's plenty more to work on, and I'll see how what the personality of these paintings start to evolve into being. I don't know how, but I got I put too much water in some of these. Yes, some of them are too much water, some of them not enough water. A few of them are just right. This one's a little bit loose. The pink was too, oh no, there's something funny about the pink in that doesn't seem to matter how I use the paper clip. Now, how much I try to open this up. There's something really sticking somewhere that's not allowing me to free it, because it's, oh, yeah. Well, that worked. I guess I wasn't using the right thing. Now, do I want a Payne's gray? I think I want an indigo. You can see how I use the same colors. I mean, there's a variety of colors. I don't mix colors very much. I let the mixing happen on the paper, on the canvas. But I mean, that range went from the lemon yellow, lemon lime, green, just by the introduction of that red, which is its complementary color. As I recall, I consulted Itten's book on color, but any color chart, any color wheel will tell you. And I know these things, intellectually. It's just when I see the chart in front of me, I just get a different, I just get different ideas. So there we go. I just want to put a little bit of something on these. It's that creamy color infused acrylic paint glide. So let's mix something else in here. I don't have the reds yet, so I'll use a fluorescent. I love that cadmium light, however. It's kind of, I don't think it is like cinnabar, but it reminds me of cinnabar. I'm going to change up the blues. Maybe not, because this is a little bit stuck. And I've been doing breathing exercises because I've just noticed while I paint, I get so excited, I get so engrossed, and I think I stop breathing momentarily. Now, it's not a serious issue, but I would rather breathe. So I'm practicing that on my spare time, practicing breathing. It's actually a very good thing to do and very important. Now I have one color in there. I think I'm just going to add more of the yellow. All right. Now I got some real mixes going on. These are basically the same colors. I did change the indigo for ultramarine, but look at when they mix how different that is. I guess I added a little bit more yellow too. I wasn't so invested in this figure ground balance. I mean, that's actually not the right issue to be describing here. What I want to say is that I really enjoy the additions as they go along. I just put a little bit of a turquoise line, a little bit of red came out there, and really just pushed that shape back. That's what overlap will do. Here, I'll show you here. Might work again. Not as much, but it doesn't really take much. Now that it's not floating in front, it's floating behind. The little things that make me happy. I love that. There's one there. I'm going to add another one here. Oh, I guess I've run out of paint. Okay. Well, that was exciting. Got a lot done. Take these down. New paper, which is always exciting, always good. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next tape. So go and look at some art, or better yet, go make art. So I'm so happy that you are joining me today, and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day-to-day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.